This is David Ephraim Larkin. I'm here to continue my game of Skyrim. Last seen yesterday, ending at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to proceed today until 2 o'clock again. Just 2 hours starting from now. And without further ado, so I'll begin with the reading, of course. Galarian the Mystic by Asgrim Kolsgreg. During the early bloody years of the Second Era, Vanad Galarian was born under the name Trectus, a serf on the estate of a minor nobleman, Lord Girnath of Sulak-on-Kur. Trectus' father and mother were common laborers, but his father had, secretly, against the law of Lord Girnath, taught himself and then Trectus to read. Lord Girnath had been advised that literature were an abomination of nature and dangerous themselves and their laws, and had closed all bookstalls in Sulak-on-Kur. All booksellers, poets, and teachers were forbidden except within Girnath's keep. Nevertheless, a small-scale smuggling operation kept a number of books and scrolls in circulation right under Girnath's shadow. When Trectus was aged, the smugglers were found and imprisoned. Some said that Trectus' mother, an ignorant and religious woman true of her husband, was the betrayer of the smuggler, but there were other rumors as well. The trial of the smugglers was non-existent and the punishment swift. And the body of Trectus' father was kept hanging for weeks during the hottest summer Sulak-on-Kur had seen in centuries. 3 months later, Trectus ran away from Lord Girnath's estate. He made it as far as Aldor, halfway across Summer Thadal. A band of troubadours found him nearly dead, curled up in a ditch by the side of the road. They nursed him to health and employed him as an errand boy in return for food and shelter. One of the troubadours, a soothsayer named Helion, began testing Trectus' mind and found the boy, though shy, to be preternaturally intelligent and sophisticated given his circumstances. Helion recognized in the boy a commonality, for Helion had been trained in the Isle of Artaeum as a mystic. When the troop was performing in the village of Patanza, the far eastern end of Somerset, Helion took Trectus, then a boy of 11, to the Isle of Artaeum. The magistrate of the isle, Iacchestus, recognized potential in Trectus, and took him on to the Putal, giving him the name of Vanad Galarian. Vanad trained his mind on the Isle of Artaeum, as well as his body. Thus was the first arch-magistrate of the Mages Guild trained. From the physics of the Isle of Artaeum, he received his training. From his childhood of want and injustice, he received his philosophy of sharing knowledge. With that interesting historical note, we will proceed with our adventure. Wherever we were, I don't quite remember. Felglow Keep. I was trying to storm this place, looking for something. Oh, I actually got them. Now I returned them to the college. That would be up here. Okay, I'm gonna walk into this place. I'm gonna raid it. Assuming I have arrows, that is. I guess that's enough. Well, there's plenty of food. And the resting also looks attractive. So I think we'll spend some time here.
I've got your back. I am at your command.
Lydia's near her limit. I think we'll just spend the night here and press on. I really need to sell something. This bow's grayed out. I mean, she can't take another 15 pounds. And I'm at my limit. I'm over my limit already.
Let's get going then.
We're just gonna move on. We don't have to wait for treasure. These Vegas robes aren't as powerful, but they're warmer. They're gonna wear them here. No, we continue. I'm wearing the hood. I'm wearing the hood for even more warmth. That means my bow won't be as effective.
Hey, look, a cave. Wonder what's inside.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. There's a new museum opening up in Dawnstar. The owner is asking me to hand out invitations to travelers. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort.
We just need to stand next to the fire. Right, we're ready to attack the frigidity again. We're ready to attack the frigidity again. We certainly have trouble moving all of our treasure. The merchants don't seem to have enough gold.
I'll sell just. I do what's necessary. So trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing. Aye.
I'm right behind you. I am sworn to carry your burdens. Let's get going then.
If you're my brother's a good-for-nothing drunk. We'd have lost the house by now if it were up to him. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing. Good day.
I'm right behind you. I am at your command. Lead on.
Ranmir has no problem drinking himself under the table. Take a look. Good day.
I think that'll have to do. I think that's pretty much the stuff. We've got a lot of books to unload. I'll have to wait till we get to Whiterun.
Hundreds of years have gone into assembling this collection. It's going to stay pristine, understand? Well, well. And you seem to be in one piece. Thank you. I'll look these over and inform Mirabelle if I find anything relevant. Night of Tears, eh? I remember this one. Well, isn't that interesting? Did you read it yourself? If I recall it correctly, that has some interesting implications. You should mention that to Toldir. And here. I suppose you've earned these. Fight well.
Restoration is a perfectly valid school of magic, and you consider Restoration a valid school of magic, worthy of study, don't you? Don't you? Good. Good. Not that I require validation, of course. There are just some, and I shan't name names, who would disagree. It can make life difficult when one's colleagues fail to recognize the research one engages in. Why would anyone bother to study stars? Well, unless you're talking about that artifact that got all those dimwits thrown out. Oh, no. I'm not falling for that one again. Next thing you know, I'm getting yelled at for saying something inappropriate. If you're so curious, talk to Nelikar in the Frozen Hearth. He can tell you the whole sad story. Spells and incantations for those with a talent to cast them. Until next time.
I've got your back. I am sworn to carry your burdens. Let's get going then.
Restoration is a perfectly valid school of magic, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So, you wish to master the arcane arts? Well, no, not really. Not directly, I mean. But I know things are being said behind my back. Conversations cease when I enter rooms. I'm quite aware of what's going on here, and I will not stand for it. All right, then.
You can see me? Confound it all, I was quite sure I was invisible. Or at least transparent. There may be a matter in which your skills could be useful. The various points of focus for magic energies around the college have become polluted and need cleansing. Very well. These specially enchanted gloves will allow you to delve directly into the focal points for these energies. Go to each focal point and remove whatever impurities you may find there. Return the gloves to me when you have finished. Please exercise caution. This is not a procedure without possible consequences. Use the gloves to clear the focal points. Return to me when you have finished. I thought I made this rather clear. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them. All right, then.
Restoration is a perfectly valid school of magic, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Why are my research materials constantly disappearing? Once again, I have found very insulting notes left in my personal effects. Just because I don't fit in here is no reason for others to... Need something?
I think the college is due for a change in leadership.
College is a bit of an oddity in Skyrim. Magic isn't something that's looked upon fondly here. I'd better get going.
You know, they say knowledge is its own reward. Yes, they have. I can feel the difference already. But, of course, I'm far more in tune with these sorts of things than most. Thank you. I appreciate your assistance. Oh my, that's quite a difficult question. Never underestimate the ability to influence others. Whether they're friends or foes, they're almost all susceptible to illusion spells. They can turn the tide of a battle in a moment's notice. There are also spells that help in avoiding conflict altogether. Invisibility is tricky to master, but exceptionally useful. Until next time.
The priestess of Azura, who I visited on my way south from here yesterday, stated that there was an elven mage engaged in something worth investigating, and this elven mage seems to live very near here. So I'm going to pay him a visit.
What is it? Damn faithless Imperials.
My days at the college are long behind me, but I prefer to stay close by. Who sent you? Was it the college? The Jarl? We agreed there would be no more questions.
I understand Iron's been playing Hunt the Elf.
You're working with the Daedra? Right. Now tell me the one about the Argonian maid and the lusty baron.
I'm not incredible. I don't want Iron playing those sorts of games.
A few coins for my soul. If only you understood the irony. What do you know about soul gems? They are, except the gem is always consumed. They're frail, except for one. Azura's Star, a Daedric artifact that allows any number of souls to pass through it. Some of us wanted to find out how. I was working under Malin Varen then. If only we knew what he was really planning. Malin wanted to alter the star. He was dying, disease. He thought he could store his own soul inside, become immortal. It drove him mad. Students started dying. Eventually, the college exiled him. He took a few loyal disciples to Illinalta's Deep and vanished. Look, I don't care who asked you to find the star, but don't take it back to Azura. The Daedra are evil. They're the reason Malin went insane. I mentioned how the star is a soul gem, only it never gets depleted. There's another rule the artifact follows. You can only store white souls in the star belonging to the lesser creatures. Azura's magic won't allow black souls to enter it. As a mortal, Malin's soul was black, so part of his work was breaking past Azura's rules. He was close before. Well, I already told you. Azura is no ordinary Daedra. She commands an entire realm inside of Oblivion. The more Malin worked on the star, the more she was able to damn him. It started slowly at first. Malin would see things that weren't there. Then he would yell at students over words they hadn't
I
said.
understand Iron's...
Then one day I walked in and Malin had killed a student. And in a horrific moment of inspiration, he started using her soul for his work.
I don't want Iron playing those sorts of games.
The college would agree with you. But do you have any idea how many innocent lives were cut short, just so Azura could have revenge? We're nothing to the Daedra. Pawns to move around, praise and punish as they see fit. Until next time.
Is there a star seems to be down here, and then also deep, quite far out of our way. So we probably won't go for a good long time. We'll spend the night here at the inn.
If there's anything you need, just let me know.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Actually,
let me know if there's anything else you need.
we'll set out in the morning. We're going to Tolstir, where we last contemplating the great magical artifact we liberated. We have some intelligence from the books we managed to get from the somewhat crusty librarian. We found this note somewhere, which I'll now read. Someone, please help. A group of necromancers are experimenting with conjuring zombies using ancient dangerous magic, which I fear will have unintended and irreversible consequences. I was expelled from the study that their ambitions grew into folly against my warning. They're performing a ritual to summon a large group of these foul, uncontrollable creatures we speak in the southernmost area of Skyrim. It must be stopped before it's too late. These are all valuable. Osiris, you've been cordially invited to dinner and drinks at Bloodchill Manor. As an honored guest, you're encouraged to come early and mingle with the other attendees. When ready to feast, ask the house waiter for a menu to let you into the banquet hall. The finest and most delectable dishes will be on display. There will be no need for appetizers once everyone is ready and seated a full course awaits. Come for the dinner, stay for the drinks. This zombie infestation is very far away down here, so we're going to postpone that as well. The dinner is not too bad. In Sarthal, where we're going to rejoin Tolfdir, we could go out and try to catch the. We could go out and try to catch the banquet afterwards. It's something we could go to Arcadia's Cauldron. Also far out of the way. But it's in Whiterun, and we go there periodically. So for now...
Just come home.
Can. Got it. It's 2 rounds to go. Why don't you go?
How come you're in Winterhold? My pa says people like you are the reason.
Because I'd rather be here trying... I'll sell just about anything if it's worth my time. Keep that in mind, will you?
I think Tolstier is up here. So we're gonna go and speak to him.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. Well, yes. This is rather embarrassing, but it seems I've misplaced something. I can't find my alembic. I suppose I could use another one, but... well, it sounds silly, but mine has sentimental value. If you happen to see it, would you mind bringing it to me? My alembic. I need it for some research and can't seem to find it. Take a look. Did he now? Does he have information about our wonderful discovery? Is that the one about something buried beneath Sarthal? Something that men and Mare fought over? I'll have to make a point of rereading it. I don't recall the details. I just can't seem to tear myself away. Whatever this is, its beauty is like nothing I've ever seen before. If you'd allow me to indulge myself for a moment, I thought I might make a few observations. I'm sure you've already noticed the markings. They're quite unlike anything we've seen before. Aliad, Dwemer, Daedric, or even Farmer. None of them are a match. Quite curious indeed. Now, I'm not sure that you're quite as attuned as I am, given my extensive years of experience. But can you feel it? This marvelous object, it practically radiates magicka. And yet it's unlike anything I've felt before. Archmage Aaron is already hard at work, and hopefully we'll have more information soon.
I'm afraid I must intrude. It is urgent that I speak with your associate immediately.
This is most inappropriate. We're involved in serious research here.
Yes, I've no doubt of its gravity. This, however, is a matter that cannot wait.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never been interrupted like this before. The audacity. I suppose we'll continue this at some later time, when we can avoid interruptions.
I need you to come with me immediately. Let's go. Really? Well, allow me to clarify the situation. I'd like to know why there's someone claiming to be from the Psijic Order here in the college. More importantly, I'd like to know why he's asking for you, specifically. So we're going to go have a little chat with him and find out exactly what it is he wants. I'll be the one asking the questions. All you need to know is that the Psijic Order is a rogue organization, believing themselves to be above the law. They have clashed with the Old Mary Dominion before, and I have no intention of allowing that to happen here. Now, you are going to speak to this monk and find out why he is here, and then he will be removed from college grounds.
Please do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. It is good to meet you in person. I'd simply like to talk to you. I've given us a chance to speak privately, but I'm afraid I can't do this for long. We must be brief. The situation here at your college is of dire importance, and attempts to contact you, as we have previously, have failed. I believe it is due to the very source of our concern. This object, the Eye of Magnus, as your people have taken to calling it. The energy coming from it has prevented us from reaching you with the visions you have already seen. The longer it remains here, the more dangerous the situation becomes. And so I have come here personally to tell you it must be dealt with. I'm afraid it's not that simple. You must understand the Psijic Order does not typically intervene directly in events. My presence here will be seen as an affront to some within the Order. As soon as we have finished, I will be leaving your college. I'm all too aware that my arrival has aroused suspicion, especially in Onkano, your Thalmor associate. Nevertheless, my Order will not act directly. You must take it upon yourself to do so. As you may have learned, this object, the Eye, is immensely powerful. The world is not ready for it. If it remains here, it will be misused. Indeed, many in the Order believe it has already. Rather, something will happen soon, something that cannot be avoided. We believe that your efforts should be directed towards dealing with the aftermath, but we cannot predict what that will be. I fear I have already overstepped the bounds of my Order, but I will offer this. Seek out the Augur of Dunlane here in your college. His perception may be more coherent than ours. He was once a student here at the college. Now he is something different. I am unsure. He is somewhere within the college. Surely one of your colleagues must know his location. I am sorry I cannot provide you with further help, but this conversation requires a great deal of effort on my part. Now, I'm afraid I must leave you. We will continue to watch over you and guide you as best we can. It is within you to succeed. Never forget that.
I'm sorry.
Well,
were you about to say
something? What is the
something?
meaning of this?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Don't play coy. You asked to see a specific member of the college. Here he is. Now what is it that you want?
There's been a misunderstanding. Clearly I should not be here. I shall simply take my leave.
What? What trickery is this? You're not going anywhere until I find out what you're up to.
I am not up to anything. I apologize if I have offended you in any way.
We will see about this.
I'm not sure what happened. A monk from the Psijic Order. Here after all these years, and then he just leaves. I hope we didn't offend him somehow.
The Augur of Dun Lane. I have to find him somehow. Maybe the librarian knows something.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? All right, then.
Oh.
I should ask my fellow members where to find him. Here's someone.
If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly. That's nothing you need to concern yourself with. Very well. It's not something often discussed, as it might be misunderstood by the locals. The Augur is down in the midden, below the college. I don't recommend going down there unless it's absolutely necessary.
The midden. The Augur is somehow hiding out down here from the overly inquisitive, and we will number ourselves in that group, no doubt. So, now that we're facing danger, we don the circlet of major archery. And we enter into stealth mode. You take up our bow. It seems we must go underground and loop back. Actually, that book might be important. Nephew. I apologize that I can't see you personally before you leave. The trip from Sodra is more treacherous this season. I would have visited upon hearing the news. The North have a fine college at Winterhold, and I am sure you will excel. You may know that I, too, attended there. I was quite the conjuration adept in my own day. I am sending you my notes, as we called in the Atronach Forge, a bit of a project of mine while at Winterhold. Mention nothing to the faculty, but ask your fellow pupils at a place called the Midden. You will find the forge there. I fear a number of my notes are missing, scattered and lost by travel down Skyrim. Perhaps you may stumble across these in your own adventure. The Atronach Forge offers few clues as to who built it, and even fewer as to how to unlock its full potential. Only through blind experimentation, a few singed eyebrows, have I been able to understand its function. The forge is mostly a large dais, almost crude of make, but emblazoned with the traditional Daedric A rune, an offering box attached, as well as a prominent lever. The dais also features a large setting, which seems set to receive some large spherical object. I've had no luck determining what this missing object may be, however, or what effect it may have on the efficacy of the forge. The forge is activated by placing certain items into the offering box and pulling the lever. The forge consumes the items and conjures something upon the dais. The conjuration can be predicted reliably if the appropriate items are left in the box. But many combinations either have no effect or are catastrophic reactions. Once I conjured a wild goat, well, most of the goats at least. Experimenting wildly with the forge is dangerous. I've recorded such recipes as I have discovered on the following pages. The simplest, yet perhaps most hazardous stable recipe is that of a summoned Atronach. The college brutes will hack the first thing they see, however. Be ready for a battle if you have reason to use these recipes. Flame Atronach, Fire Salt Ruby, Frost Atronach, Frost Salt Sapphire, Storm Atronach, Void Salt Amethyst. We have anything like that. Will we have fire salts? If I salts what a ruby. And we happen to have one. So we're gonna try this one, see what happens. The fire salts go in. A ruby. We quick save. We activate the pedestal. And nothing happens. We need a large spherical object. Or perhaps not. We will try activating the pull bar. Thing is unfriendly. Yeah, see if we get a monster out of it. Our fire salts will come back to us. We lost a ruby, so we're not getting ahead this way. We'll proceed further. Oh, yes.
still here. I am sworn to carry your burdens. You lead, I'll... Oh.
Does someone live?
Somehow lost my mace. Relic. The missing students were found in the midden this morning, dead as expected. None of us bothered keeping detect life charm for the search at this point. The bodies were found together, each suffering the same deformities, peeled and bubbling skin on the arms and face, conjurer's burn, as they commonly referred to around the college. They little doubt they were attempting a summoning ritual well beyond their capabilities. The relic nearby put any doubt of the theory to rest. I admit that I've never seen anyone like it, a large segmented sculpture of a gauntlet, the Daedric sigil, a large segmented sculpture of a gauntlet, the Daedric sigil, A emblazoned upon the palm. Attempts to move it were in vain. I must show it to Archmage Selos during his upcoming visit. Perhaps he will know more. Well, we couldn't move the relic, as to pry for rings from it. I'm sure there's a connection between them and the ritual the students are attempting. I'll store these in Arcanum until we can consult with the Conjuration Master to learn more.
I've got your back. I am at your command. Let's get going then.
I think I made a mistake by walking off the bridge upon first entrance. I'll see if I can get back there again. Actually, that looks extremely that looks extremely challenging. I'll try to find another way up. I think I want to get up to the top here and cross over here. The exact route seems challenging. Actually, we may perhaps we're near our goal. Let's just see.
Your perseverance will only lead to disappointments. Still, you persist. Very well. You may enter. I am that which you have been seeking. Your efforts are in vain. It has already begun. Those who have sent you have not told you what they seek, what you seek.
I was told to find you.
Indeed. And so you have come looking, though you do not know why. Like others before you, you blindly follow a path to your own destruction. The Thalmor came seeking answers as well, unaware they will be his undoing. Your path now follows his, though you will arrive too late.
I'm not the first to come see you.
No, though you may be the last. The one who calls himself Ankano has sought my knowledge as well, through very different questions. Your path differs from most. You are being guided, pushed towards something. It is a good path, one untraveled by many. It is a path that can save your college. I will tell you what you need to know to follow it further.
What do I need?
You, and those aiding you, wish to know more about the Eye of Magnus. You wish to avoid the disaster of which you are not yet aware. To see through Magnus's eye without being blinded, you require his staff. Events now spiral quickly towards the inevitable center, so you must act with haste. Take this knowledge to your Archmage.
I report to Savazoran.
enchanting services are one of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest of Skyrim.
Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off limits.
It's no secret that the college's reputation in Skyrim is tainted.
Have you ever heard of the Augur of Dunland?
Has Tolfdir been telling stories again? I thought I made it quite clear that this was a subject inappropriate for conversation. Please, don't allow him to continue to discuss the subject.
I have important information for you.
Really? And what might that be?
We need to find the Staff of Magnus.
I'm sorry, what? Well, I'd certainly love to have such a powerful staff, but I'm not really sure that any of us need it.
It's connected to the orb we found.
And how do you know of this?
I spoke with the Augur of Dunland.
Did you really? And he specifically mentioned the Staff of Magnus? I'm impressed with your initiative. Of course, someone will need to follow up on this.
You mean me, don't you?
I certainly do. Since you went so far as to seek out the Augur for advice, I thought you'd be more enthusiastic. Something as specific and ancient as the Staff of Magnus. I'm not sure we'd ever find something like that. I seem to recall Mirabelle mentioning the staff somewhat recently. Why don't you see if she can tell you anything? I'm quite pleased with your progress, you know. You've certainly proven yourself to be more than a mere apprentice. Well done. This circlet once proved invaluable to me. I hope it can be of use to you now.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary.
Do you know anything about the Staff of Magnus?
Well, now that's an odd question. Why in the world would you be asking?
Archmage Ayres said you'd mentioned it recently.
I see. Well, yes, I suppose I did mention it, though I'm not sure what he expects me to tell you. I only brought it to his attention a few months back when the Synod showed up here looking for it. They were apparently under the impression we were keeping it in a closet somewhere.
Who are the Synod?
Mages based out of Cyrodiil. They fancy themselves the imperial authority on magic these last few hundred years. My understanding is that all they really do is make noise in an attempt to curry favor from the Emperor. Lots of politics, little magic. I was quite surprised to find them on our doorstep. They seemed amiable enough, but their line of questioning made me uneasy. It became clear they're trying to hoard powerful artifacts, looking to consolidate power.
So no one knows the staff's location?
No one here does. The Synod seemed convinced it was somewhere in Skyrim. They inquired about the ruins of Mzulft, but that's all I remember. It sounded like they were heading there, though they were rather secretive about why. I suppose if you're intent on looking for the staff, there's a chance they might be in Mzulft yet. Just don't expect them to be cooperative.
What else can you tell me about the staff of Magnus?
I'm not really sure. Made and used by Magnus himself, if you believe those sorts of things. I believe I've heard it said that it's the only thing that could adequately contain his power. The sort of embellishment wizards of ancient times loved to make.
Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off limits. Let me give you a bit of advice. If you want to work on something that's not officially allowed, don't tell anyone you're doing it. You need something you're not officially supposed to have? You come see me. You tell anyone that I told you, and I'll fry you from the inside out. Got it? Huh? Good.
These ruins are obviously out here. That would be a considerable trek. I guess we'll just start. We'll spend some time in the inn and be on our way.
There are some experiments the college frowns on, if they're aware of them, of course.
Now tired for warmth, we go to the inn. And from the inn, we proceed to the ruins of Mazalt.
They're reforming the Dawn God. Vampire hunters or something. In the old form of Rift.
I don't care how many colleges they build, or how much the sea swallows up. I'll outlast them all.
How long are we going to let Manmere drink himself into a stupor? When will enough be enough?
If there's anything you need, just let me...
Sure of that?
Sure thing.
I think Birna might
It's yours for a
disagree
day.
with
I'll show you to your room. Right this way. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
What's your business here in Winterhold?
The Jarl is here. I'm here for the college.
Should have known. Not that it matters anymore. No one bothers coming to Winterhold for any other reason.
You're the Jarl? I'm looking for work.
Winterhold has lost much of its history, and with that much of its power. I aim to change that. I've heard rumors of the resting place of the Helm of Winterhold. The very same helm that Jarl Hansa wore in the First Era. Hansa was in line to be High King of Skyrim, you know. Having that might get the ear of the other holds, and give me some authority.
Oh yes, quite fine.
I'll recover the helm.
Good. I'll have a sum of gold waiting for your return.
Are you referring to your other customers? No.
You have a problem with the college?
I do. And if you count yourself among their numbers, then you've blood on your hands as well. There's nothing left of Winterhold. Nothing. Everyone knows it's the college's fault that the sea swallowed our city. Still, they deny it. But we all know the truth.
I'd like to know more about Winterhold's history.
What's there to tell? It's mostly gone now, thanks to those damn mages in the college. Someday there'll be proof they caused the Great Collapse. Most of the city just dropping off into the sea. That doesn't just happen. All right, then. I don't care how many colleges they build, or how much the sea swallows up. I'll outlast them all.
I'll sell just about anything if it's worth my time. Keep that in mind, will you?
Okay, we're gonna head out to the ruins of Mazalt. Way out here. But we're just about out of time, so I'm gonna stop right here with the final reading. The Rerum Direnis, about Vorian Dureni. I am 611 years old. I have never had children of my own, but have many nieces and nephews and cousins who have been raised with the tales and traditions of our ancient, illustrious, and occasionally notorious clan, the Direni. Few families in Tamriel can boast so many famous figures wielding so much power over the fate of so many. Our warriors and kings are stuff of legend, and it is not to dismiss their honor and their achievements to say that you have heard quite enough about them. I myself have never picked up a sword or written an important law, but I am part of a lesser-known but still important Iranian tradition in the way of the wizard. My own autobiography would be of little interest to posterity, though my nephew, nieces, and cousins indulge me to tell wild tales of life in the chaotic second era of Tamriel. But I have a few ancestors whose stories should be told. They may have changed history as we know it as dramatically as my better-known relatives, but their names are in danger of being forgotten. Most recently, Lysandus, the king of Daggerfall, was able to conquer its ancient enemies of Sentinel, in part thanks to its court sorceress, Medora Direni. Her grandfather, Jovron Direni, was imperial battle mage to the court of the Dunmer Empress of Tamriel, Kataria, assisting her in creating peace in a time of turmoil. His great-great-grandfather, Paladil Direni, had a similar role with the first potentate, and encouraged the Guild Act, without which we would not have all of the professional organizations we have today. His ancestor, many times back, was the witch Raven Dureni, who with her better-known cousins Aiden and Riane, brought an end to the tyranny of the latter Alessian Empire before the judges of Artaeum and his son. She created the art of enchantment, learning how to bind a soul into a gem and use that to ensorcel all manner of weaponry. But it is the story of an ancestor even more ancient and more distant than Raven I wish to tell. Athlil Dureni harkens back to the humble beginnings of our clan in the tiny farming village of Tirigel on the banks of the river Kaomas, which was then called Adiran, hence the family name. Like all at Somerset Isle in those days, he was a simple planter of the field. But while others have lingered enough to sustain their immediate kin, even distant cousins of the Durranis were together. They decide as a group which fields were best for wheat, orchard, vine, livestock, or apiary, and thereby always have the best yields of any farm which worked alone, doing the best that it could with what it had. Astrodel had a particularly poor farm for most kinds of agriculture, but small herbs found in stony, loamy, acidic soil are very comfortable. Out of necessity, more than anything else, he became an expert on all manner of herbs. For the most part, of course, they were used in flavor and cooking, but as you know, hardly any plant grows in the surface of our world without a magical potential. Even so long ago, witches already were in existence. It would be ridiculous for me to suggest that Astrodel Durrani invented alchemy. What he did, what we can all be grateful for, is that he formulated it into an art and science. There were no witches' covens in Tiragel, and, of course, there would be no mages' guild yet for 1,000 of years. So people would come to him for cures. He learned for himself the exact formula for combining black lichen and rhubarb to create a cure for all manner of poison, and the amount of willow anther crushed and mixed with chokeweed to cure diseases. There were few much greater threats in Tiragel in those peaceful days than disease or accidental poisonings. Yes, there are some dark forces in the wilderness, troll, chimera, the occasional malevolent fairy folk, and will-o'-the-wisp. But even the youngest was foolish Aldemer knew how to avoid them. There were, however, a few unusual threats which Astrodel had a hand in defeating. One of the tales told him, that I believe to be true, is how he was brought to a young niece who had been suffering from an unknown disease. Despite his administration, she grew weak and weaker every morning. Finally, he gave her a bitter-tasting drink, and the next morning, Asher found all around her bed. The vampire had been feeding on the poor girl, but Asher's potion turned her very blood into poison without harming her in the least. If only this formula had not been lost in the midst of history. This would have been enough to make him a minor but significant figure in the annals of early Somerset. But at that point in history, a barbarian tribe called the Lockfar had found their way down the Duran River and recognized Tiragel as a rich target for raid. The Durrani, not being warriors yet, but simple farmers, were helpless and could only flee and watch the Lockfar take the best of their crops raid after raid. Astrodel, however, had been experimenting with the vampire dust, and had brought his cousin to him with a plan. The next time the Lockfar were sighted on the Duran, the word went out, and all the most able-bodied came to Astrodel's laboratory. When the barbarians arrived in Tiragel, they found the farm deserted, and assumed that all had led as usual, as they said about stealing the bounty. They suddenly found themselves under attack by invisible forces, believing the Durrani farms to be haunted. They ran away very quickly. They attempted a few more raids, but their greed would always eventually overpower their fear. They attempted a few more raids, but their greed would always eventually overpower their fear, and each time they were set upon by attackers who they could not see. As barbaric as they were not stupid, and they changed their mind about the source of their defeat. It could not be that the farms were haunted, because the crops were still being tended and harvested, and the animals seemed to show no fear. The Lockfar decided to send a scout to the farm to see if he could spy their secrets. The scout sent word back to the Lockfar that Durrani farms were populated with flesh and blood and highly visible Altmer. He continued to watch as the barbarian cohorts moved down the river, and he saw the elderly and children flee for the hills. Well, the able-bodied farmers and their wives went to Asriel's laboratory. He saw them go in. He saw no one come out. As usual, the Lockfar were repelled by invisible forces. But the scout soon told them what he saw happening in the laboratory. The next night, two of the Lockfar approached Asriel's farm very stealthily and managed to kidnap him without alerting the rest of the Durrani. The Lockfar chieftain, knowing that the farmer could no longer count on the alchemist to make them invisible, considered an immediate attack on the farm, but his eventual sword, and felt he had been humiliated by these simple farmers. A crafty plan emerged in his mind. What if the Durrani, who always saw the barbarian tribe coming, who once did not amass the slaughter, no one even had a chance to flee? The scout had told the chieftain that Asriel had used the dust of a vampire to make the farmers invisible, but he was not sure what the other ingredient had been. He described an incandescent powder that Asriel had mixed into the dust. Asriel, of course, refused to help the Lockfar. But they were experts in torture as well as pillage, and knew how to talk or die. Finally, after hours of torture, he came to tell them what the incandescent powder was. He did not know the name, but he called it glow dust, the only remains of a slain will-o'-the-wisp. He told them that they would need a lot of it if they wanted to turn the whole tribe invisible for the raid. Lokvar grumbled that not only did they have to find and kill a vampire to attain his dust, but find and kill several will-o'-the-wisps to get it there. In a few days' time, they came back with the ingredients the alchemist asked for. The chieftain, not being a complete idiot, made Asel taste the potion first. He did as he was told and turned invisible, demonstrating that it did truly work. The chieftain put it to work, creating more. No one apparently noticed it while he did. He was nibbling on black lichen and rubras. And the Lokvar took the potion and he doled it out, and soon, but not too soon after they did. Not too soon, they didn't suffer. They were all dead. The scout who had seen Asel mix the invisibility potion and apparently mistook the glow of the candlelight in the laboratory for an incandescent, which the second ingredient of the invisibility potion did not possess. The second ingredient was actually a dull, simple redwort, one of the most common herbs in Tamriel. When they had insisted during the torture to Asel tell her what the incandescent powder was, Asel remembered they did once experimentally make glow dust and vampire dust together once and created a powerful poison. It was simple enough to steal a little redwort from the barbarian camp, mix that with the vampire and glow dust mixture, and create a potion that is in fact an invisibility potion. After curing himself, he gave the poison to the barbarians. The Lokvar, being dead, never again raided the Direni farm, and having no other enemies, they were able to grow more and more prosperous and powerful. Generations later, they left Somerset and began their historic adventures on the Tamriel mainland. The Lokvar, being dead, never again raided the Direni farm, and having no other enemies, they were able to grow more and more prosperous and powerful. Generations later, they left Somerset and began their historic adventures on the Tamriel mainland. Asel Direni, because of his excellence as an alchemist, was invited to Artea and became a Sijic. It is not known how many more of the common formulas we know today are invented by him there, but I have no doubt the science of alchemy as we know today would not exist without him. But that is all in the distant past. Asel's innovations, like my modest ones, like the achievements of the Direni throughout history, are but a stepping stone to the wonders which will come in the future. I wish I could be there to witness them, but if I can only share some of the past with the children of Direni and the children of Tamriel, then I'll consider my life well spent. So the vampire dust seems to be, the invisibility potion seems to be vampire dust and glow dust and redwort. Or just vampire dust and redwort. I'm guessing vampire dust and redwort. So if I come across any, I'll try to make an invisibility potion out of it. So I will save, because I don't remember if I did that. So, this is David E. from Larkin. I'm done with Skyrim for today. I'll resume tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's all.